All right, guys, obviously not the result that you wanted today, but what did this team accomplish in the Big 12 tournament to set itself up for something bigger in the NCAAs? Maybe Kalib, maybe we start with you.
Just go back to how preseason and go back to how what people projected us as. We was projected to be 7th, and we made it to the championship. It's safe to say we didn't win it, but I mean, we beat top tier teams for basically 3 weeks. So like, if anybody doesn't take that into consideration, then I honestly don't know what to tell them, because like, that's a basketball team that can fight, and that's for 3 weeks. That's all we did was fight.
Ice, what's the state of the team right now? I mean, what do you feel about this team going into the postseason now?
Oh, we more hungry than ever, man. We hungry. You know what I'm saying? Going into that locker room, it was not sad faces. It was more mad faces. You know, we was hungry, and you know, just to hear from our locker room celebration out there, hearing the music, hearing them have fun, and you know, it was a feeling that stung for sure. So, you know, we hungry, man. And we just going, you know, definitely no confidence has been lost. You know what I'm saying? We still believe that we have no ceiling. No confidence has been lost at all, you know. We just got to, you know, get some recovery done these next couple of days, heal up, and go out there. And, you know, now we know what it takes to win a chip.
All right, let's get right to it. Members of the media, if you have questions for Oklahoma State's Kalib Boone or Isaac Likekele, please click raise hand. We'll try and get to everybody. We just ask that you please just address the question to who you want to have answer it. Our first question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, Ice, how difficult is it playing 3 games in 3 days?
Man, honestly, to me, none of that matters, honestly. The way from summer boot camp all the way to what we've done preseason, just different things, all the trials and tribulations, all the hard workouts, different things we've been through has prepared us for situations like these. You know what I'm saying? To play 3 games in 3 days. They asked us again to play tomorrow for the second place game. You got to be ready. You know what I'm saying? We got nothing but soldiers on this team, so I don't want to really just put that out there as an excuse or nothing. None of that stuff really matters. We just got to come out here and we got to have way more energy in the first half of a championship game in order to win. You know, it's a championship.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I know you don't want to make an excuse, but did Texas maybe have more energy? Did you notice more energy from them coming off a day off?
I think, like, at the beginning of the game, you could just tell we looked kind of tired, and, like, we kind of played like it for a second. Then we just had mishaps on the court that we could control. Like, rebounding was one. Our Boston coverages could have been a lot better. But with all that being said, it was just our energy, and that had nothing to do with us playing yesterday or nothing. That's something we could control every day.
And Kalib, what Jericho, you guys kind of held him in check the first 2 times you played him. What was different about him today? What did he do so well against you guys?
He just took the fight to us, honestly. Like, I'm not going to sit here and downplay him as a player. He's a really good athlete, really good. He's on Big 12 scholarship for a reason. But, like, he set it to tone. He had 14 rebounds and 21 points. I mean, that tells you the story. We didn't keep him off the glass. And like I said, we didn't keep him off the glass. And when bigs get offensive rebounds, just rebounds in general like that, it gives him momentum. And he felt like he could just go get to the spots and everything. That's what happened.
Ice, last one for me. You were sounded like you were kind of talking to Kalib a little bit, kind of encouraging him when you sat down a little bit ago. What was the message to the team? I know you kind of alluded to that, but what was your message to the team?
I mean, all these my dogs, man. All of them, they my brothers, man. So I'm not really the type of guy, you know, at times I can yell and stuff, but I'm 98% the time of the guy is just going to sit down with you and explain to you real quick in the heat of the moment. You know, I feel as if that's how, you know, guys comprehend things better, you know, but at the same time, you know, I was just telling them, hey, bro, we got to get these things done, communicate this, that, and they know it's a conversation with me. It's never a one-way thing where I just tell you something and you can't say nothing back to me. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Or if there's a certain thing that you're confused about, we can communicate about it. You know, it's never a one-way thing with me. I always like feedback back. I have conversations with everybody, you know. So just for me to just even be in a position to tell him that he be an open sponge and acknowledge it. It's just helpful as a team. We just wasn't able to go out there. We needed to go today.
Thanks, fellas.
Next question comes from Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Garen.
Yeah, fellas, for both y'all, you guys went through a lot to be here with you haven't been home for a while. You're getting tested, I think early in the morning every day, which is a drag. And then you had to play 3 great teams in 72 hours. So that's an exhausting situation. The question is, was it worth it? And if so, why this week?
And everything's worth it, to be honest. From the way I look at life, I'm honestly just blessed to even be here. Every time I step out on the court, I could care less if I play terrible. I can care less if I have the best game of my career. I just feel blessed to even be out there. It's a lot of things going on that it's not for sure that I could be out there, honestly. So it was exciting to just be out there, and it was definitely worth it. And we got to learn lessons while also gain confidence while we was here. So it's nothing but another lesson learned, and gonna push forward and use it as motivation, man. More motivation, the better we just keep getting.
All right, our next question. Oh, go ahead, Caleb. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm on. Y'all good. Y'all good.
Now I feel bad, like I cut you off. I wasn't to try to do that.
No, I just answered it. I was just going to say the same thing, basically.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
For Ice, when you're playing 3 games in 3 days, you don't necessarily get to unpack the previous game like you would in a normal season. Now that you guys are getting ready to prepare for the NCAA tournament, do you unpack these 3 games equally, or do you put more emphasis on the game that you just played in terms of the positives and negatives that you take from it on film?
Honestly, I can't tell you. I've never been to the tournament, so I really can't tell you. Coach B is 2 different sides to him. Sometimes it's let's review this real quick and then let's go forward. And then sometimes it's, everybody's 0-0, so let's just focus on what's forward. So I honestly don't know what the process will be. This is the furthest I've been in my collegiate career. So I can't tell you right now.
And for Caleb, that second half, you guys battled and showed grit. What was the message in that halftime coming out for that second half?
Basically, they were the aggressors the whole first half, and we got to be aggressive. And honestly, that first half they looked like they wanted to win. We looked like we just wanted to hang in there for a second. And then the second half, we showed fight, we showed grit, we showed them that this isn't going to be easy, and it wasn't. We cut the lead down to 4, sometimes to 3, but we just had mishaps and couldn't have those.
All right, our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, I just have a quick one for Ice. Ice, as far as the team goes, I guess apart from Farron and Bryce, you've been waiting the longest to kind of hear your name called on Selection Sunday. Just kind of what does it mean for you to be able to play in the tournament? You've been with guys like Lindy and Cam who never got that experience. What does it mean that you finally get this experience?
I mean, it most definitely means a lot. Like I said, I just feel blessed to be in this position. So I'm looking forward to try to take a full advantage of it, and just happy to see what we can do in that tournament.
Do you have any memories, I guess, growing up of the tournament?
No, I wasn't really college. I didn't really watch basketball like that growing up. I ain't start watching basketball probably till like my 10th grade, 11th grade, something like that.
Appreciate it, guys.
Our next question comes from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, for Isaac, you guys forget the 3 days, 3 nights. I'm not talking about fatigue. How about the mental stress of being down and having to come back? You guys made up a bunch of points the first half of the second half and got it down to 2, but then Texas spurted away and you had to come back again. You got close a few times, but how much energy is consumed just trying to rally time after time?
And honestly, it's there's no positions that we haven't been in, Y'all seen us down 10, 12 multiple times and seen us come back and win. So we was used to that situation. We've been up 10, we've been down 10. So whenever we got there and cut it within 4 or 2, we knew what it took to get over that hump. But, we just couldn't build the stop in the bucket to get over that hump. They'll come down, we'll foul them. they'll get 2 free throws or something, or we'll give up an offensive rebound so they get another shot. It's just different things that they was doing to keep themselves up, which credit to them. But we knew what it took to get over that hump. We just didn't do it.
All right, our next question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
I was kind of piggybacking off of Marshall's question on the NCAA tournament.
What is
You
it?
guys had
Coconut shrimp.
all those sanctions come down, and a lot of people thought you wouldn't be at this point. Does that add extra meaning to the NCAA selection Sunday tomorrow?
Most definitely. It does add a lot, but just for the family's sake within the locker room and the staff, the fans also mean a lot to us, no doubt, but the bond that we have in this locker room, and it's just amazing, man. So for all of us to come here not knowing that we was even going to be able to be in the tournament, that tells you what kind of bond that we built, that, we was willing to come here, tournament or not. And so for us to be able to go, it means a lot. So we're going to take it full advantage of it.
Caleb, what do you think about that?
I mean, he said it best. That's a bond. Most people, when they hear they don't have the opportunity to play or a chance to not play in the NCAA tournament, I mean, that's what you come to college for and play sports, where you don't just come and just be like, okay, yeah, I play basketball there. Like, no, you want to come to that school and try to win. I mean, so when we heard that, it was downgrading, but a lot of people thought we was like, okay, this is just going to be a mess around season. We're just going to play, lose whatever kind of games and just call it a season. Yeah. But we was like, no, we're gonna prove people wrong. And I feel like that's what we did, regardless winning the championship or not.
Mm-hmm.
We proved people wrong. We proved people that this team can fight, and they care about this. That's all we did. We showed that we cared this whole season. And going in the NCAA tournament is going to be a fun experience, and I can't wait to experience that.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question comes from Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Garen.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Caleb did answer the question I asked that Isaac answered earlier. What was beneficial about this week, Caleb, for the program being here and playing like you guys did?
I mean, like I said, man, we showed we can play with whoever. We're dogs. We fight. No matter what lead, anything. Like, we was down yesterday to the number 2 defense or number 1 offense in the country, Baylor, and we fought and we won that game. It's just the fact, like, we're a team of dogs that comes to play, and we come expecting for a fight. We don't expect anything easy. And just this experience showed me a lot. Last year, we were the teams that had to play that early game just to make it to the quarterfinals, and then our season got canceled. So I didn't experience that, but experiencing this, it was amazing, honestly. And getting this far just makes me more motivated for the NCAA tournament and during the offseason, because I want to get back to this point next year.
Appreciate it.
Our final question is going to come from Dean Rule from the Okali. Go ahead, Dean.
Hey, Caleb, just really quickly, how difficult was that home stretch in the second half playing without Moncrief and Avery falling out?
I mean, it was tough, but that's why you have reinforcements. That's why you have guys. That's why we push on practice. That's why we have some honesty with one another, because then when times like that happen, this person knows what to do, that person knows what to do, and doesn't feel like we missed a beat. And Maggie and Avery did their thing. They played their hearts out, and they gave us everything they could.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that'll do it for questions. But before we let you go, is there anything that's important to you or anything that you feel like maybe we missed that you feel like we should be going over while we got the group here?
Go Pokes, man. Y'all know it.
All right. Thank you both.
Hey, B, can I get you on radio for us real quick? Everybody already?
Well, obviously you didn't get the result that you wanted to tonight, but I mean, the team had a fantastic accounting for itself during the Big 12 tournament and even at the end of the regular season. What are you most proud of your team from this run?
I'll probably have to reflect on it big picture wise at another time, but I'll say this. I can't imagine another team in the country that's had a tougher stretch, so to speak, than we have for the last 3 weeks. And I think we showed ourselves well, that we're in a really strong position to, we've got our program moving in the right direction. We've taken another step this year, and our team needs to be proud of that. It's also very exciting to me, first time as a head coach, that we're going to be a part of the big dance and that we have a chance to continue this season. And so I'm really excited to see what we can do after we get a little bit of rest for a couple of days and give ourselves a chance to go out there and compete.
You touched on it there a little bit, but obviously there's bigger things that are yet to come. What's your message to the team in the locker room? You come right off a loss, but there's still so much out there. What was your message to the guys?
Honesty, like always. Disappointed that we lost, right? We didn't come this far just to come this far, so to speak. Like, we came here to win the championship. That didn't happen. So the hurt is real. The disappointment is real. We lost to a really good team. I have a lot of respect for Coach Smart and what he's done there with that program and that team. And they just played better than us. The beauty of it, though, is that we still do have some basketball out in front of us. And so we can't let this stop us from feeling like we did accomplish a lot of really good things. And that there's still more that we can still yet accomplish here moving forward.
All right, members of the media, if you have a question for Oklahoma State head coach Mike Boynton, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everyone. Our first question comes from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, Mike, how tough is playing 3 games in 3 days?
I haven't done it in a really long time, Jacob. I don't remember it being easy, though. It is what it is. This is what this tournament is. We didn't play well enough. Texas outplayed us. They kind of imposed their will on the glass. And the truth is, they had two seniors, the guys that have been around the longest, stepped up and made huge plays for them when they really needed them, especially when we got it cut down there late. Coleman hit a big 3. Sims got huge offensive rebound putbacks for him. And that's what seniors do. And that's what you see a lot this time of year. So, again, credit to Texas. Did legs have a factor? I'm sure to a certain degree. But we had our chances, and we just didn't take advantage of them enough.
I was going to ask, Caleb said that he noticed a difference in energy in that first half. Did you notice it too?
Yeah, it was. We didn't play as fast. Now, Texas had a lot to do with that. They tried to kind of press us and put us on our heels and was pretty effective. But we practiced that. I thought that they would try to press us and challenge us to keep up that pace or to make us slow down, and they accomplished the latter. They made us slow down, and we obviously weren't as effective in that first half. We got a little bit more rhythm in the second half, but our defense wasn't nearly as sharp as it needed to be.
And you mentioned Sims. There have been times this year you've struggled with big guys. You've held him in check until tonight. What was the difference tonight with him?
I think he was just as bound and determined senior. This was probably the last chance he's got to do this. And you see kids, I've seen it. I've seen Mitchell Solomon. People watched him as a senior. It was like, where the hell did this come from? And it was a sense of, this is the last chance I get to do this. I'm gonna lay it all on the line. And to his credit, he did it in a way that helped his team win a Big 12 championship.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Garen.
Mike, before you came here, you guys had some momentum going, 6-7, the big win in Morgantown. You could have preferred a situation where you just went back home, rested, practiced, stayed in familiar surroundings, and just said, you know what, let's just roll into let's take our shot at the NCAA. Maybe think about Kansas City and the benefits of coming here, especially as exhausting as it was going to be, and it was for you guys. Are you glad you went through it, having done it?
Absolutely. We play for a championship tonight, Aaron. I mean, those things last forever. And there's so few times that you really get a chance to win it. And I thought we had a team that could win it. And we were right there. We didn't make enough plays. But the competitor in me will always want to have the opportunity to go compete. We played 7 games in 14 days here recently. And I think like 9 straight games against top 20 teams. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. And they're doing it with a young team and really kind of have a pretty good show. Won 8 of them, 7 of them. I still like where we're headed. Obviously, don't like the result of tonight, but I feel good that we still have a lot of maybe successful nights moving forward in our team.
From a basketball standpoint, are you better from your 3 games here?
I think so. I believe in high-level competition. It's kind of like I talk about with the coaches I coach against. Those guys make me better. Our team playing against this type of competition makes us better. We've gotten better, and it's happened pretty much in every year that I've coached toward the end of the season. And we've been playing this level of competition always. And I hope that this year helps us, carry some momentum into, I told the guys, most of them will never experience something that's fun and entertaining and cool as the NCAA tournament. I was a part of it once as a player, several times as a coach. And man, unless you run like an NBA World Championship, I can't imagine anything better. This is the coolest thing ever. So we're going to be excited to go play. And we do think that we got better from being up here in Kansas City.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned them pressing earlier. Cade in particular was eating a lot of double teams in the backcourt. Do you think some of that was Shaka being smart and, kind of knowing that you guys were a little more fatigued than they would be coming into this game?
Shaka being smart, huh?
I didn't mean to. I really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good coach, right? The dude's been to a Final Four, and probably the same thing I would have done. I would have challenged our stamina a little bit because it's not really what they do often or haven't done. They hadn't pressed us much in either of the first 2 games, but he took advantage of the opportunity that was in front of him. It was nobody's fault, but it worked out for him.
And then how, with a young team, you kind of don't know where the mindset could be. How nice was it to see them not quit? The game probably should have been over with like 5 minutes left, and they just kept going. How nice was that to see from your guys?
It's not an option. It's not an option. We don't get to quit. Like, nope, can't happen. Coach Sutton's program, Mr. Iver's program, no, not an option. So I'm not surprised because we don't ever talk about that. The expectation is if you're going to put on a uniform that says Oklahoma State basketball, you're going to play as hard as you can. And if you have a chance to go out there and play, you're going to play to win. And there's not even another discussion to be had.
And then we talked a couple weeks ago about, this could be a weird selection Sunday with, maybe the metrics not meaning as much this year. Where you guys have been hovering around that 2 line, where do you think you guys will be? Where do you think you guys should be? Kind of, what do you think about the seeding tomorrow?
I honestly have no idea. I feel good that we put ourselves in pretty good position to have a good seed that, will presumably give us a chance to be favorites. Maybe, we won a lot of games. I don't know if we've been a favorite in like 15 games. So we'll be like the first 2 seed to be an underdog if it happens. And we'll be fine with it. We'll just get ourselves as prepared as possible and go play hard and try to advance.
Appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Frank Bonner of the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Mike, the players talked about the hunger that they have for the rest of the postseason after this loss. What's the value of them being able to experience the grind it takes to get to this point and trying to duplicate that for the postseason for a longer run?
That's invaluable, having gone through this. And the thing that I will remind them of probably every day until we play is the next time we have this feeling, losing the game, it's over. Like this team won't be together anymore. And we need to make sure that we have an understanding of that. And crazy things happen in March. I've seen teams come down from 10 with less than a minute to go. I've seen Hail Mary shots. You've seen upsets. 16 beat a 1 finally a couple of years ago, right? UMBC. So a lot of things can happen. So we got to first enjoy this opportunity. Can't take it for granted. But you got to go in with the understanding that, if you don't have it, one day it's over and you don't get it back.
Now, in the regular season, you have ample amount of time to look at the film from the previous game and so on, but at 3 games in 3 days, you don't really get that. When you prepare for the NCAA tournament, do you unpack these 3 games evenly, or do you look more at this final game in the film?
I'll be honest. I'm so thankful, I hope they don't, that we won't play a Big 12 team in our next game. As much as I appreciate how much those guys have made me better, I haven't slept in like 6 weeks because to prepare to win these games, it takes so much out of you. And no disrespect to any other league, but it's going to be nice that hopefully we'll play somebody fresh, and I'll enjoy learning something new about a team, trying to figure out how to beat them, as opposed to knowing that, man, it's going to be another long, hard night of competition, at least from a preparation standpoint, as I go into the game. So I probably won't watch much of any of these games. Well, probably a couple of weeks, and if we don't play any of these teams, I may not watch until after the season's all the way over.
Yeah, to stay on that point, is there value in when you play these teams that nobody knows your program more than the teams in your conference? Is there value in playing teams that may not be as familiar with you? They may not know your guys the way that these other programs do.
Yeah, I like my 7-0 record non-conference. I really still do. We didn't go undefeated in the Big 12. We lost a few of them. So, but no, like I said, I mean, I've been made a better coach for having coached in this league for now 4 years. And, we've had some good battles non-conference-wise as well. And I certainly think we'll have a non-conference game to at least start this next round of games, and look forward to the challenge of something different.
Thank you, Mike.
Our final two questions are going to come from Barry Trammell and Dean Rule. We'll go to Barry first. Go ahead, Barry.
There we go. Yeah, Mike, results matter. You'd have rather won this game. But the fact that you didn't play that well, it didn't seem to me. Your defense wasn't sharp. And yet you're still in the game against a really good team, and you're playing 3 straight nights. Do you feel better about your NCAA tournament hopes tonight than you did even last night, just because of the way maybe you guys fought more than the way you played?
I don't know if I can say that right now. The loss is pretty raw and fresh. I'll tell you what I am optimistic about is the resolve of this team, finding ways to keep themselves in games when we haven't necessarily done things great. The one thing I'm encouraged about is this is the second straight game where we didn't have a super high number of turnovers, and it's resulting in us being a little bit more efficient offensively. But I am excited about what we can do after getting a few days of rest, to be perfectly honest, and getting our guys kind of off their feet and kind of prepare for something new, something different. And again, I think I can't reiterate this enough. It's the most exciting thing that many of these guys will ever go through as players. And I'm excited that our program is back in a place where it's relevant, and that, there'll be a little bit of talk about Oklahoma State basketball for the next few weeks.
Is another factor of this, and Cade got in early foul trouble. You didn't take him out much. Was he affected with the 3 fouls and the way he played? Was he much more careful than usual after he got that 3rd foul? And did that affect your defense in any way?
I don't think it affected him. I think it affected our team, particularly because Avery didn't have his best stuff tonight either, and Bryce wasn't quite ready to come back and help us tonight. So just it wore down our depth from that standpoint. But I thought he was assertive. He did Cade things late. He kind of made some big time shots and kept us alive there. But I didn't think he played with any kind of hesitation or anything like that. I need to talk to him. Like, he doesn't need to try to take a charge there, like in that situation. You just kind of got to pass on that play and understand that, giving up those 2 points isn't that significant in the grand scheme of him not being able to stay on the court.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll wrap it up here with Dean Rule. Go ahead, Dean.
Hey, Coach, just piggybacking off Barry's question, with the foul trouble, how difficult was it to lose Moncrief and Avery there at the end?
It was huge. I mean, rebounding disparity was big. That's one of the areas that Matthew helps us a lot. And then having Avery be able to drive and draw fouls was something we thought we'd be able to do when they started calling it a little tighter later. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Texas. They played a really good game. They got a great team. I have an unbelievable amount of respect for Shaka. He's done a hell of a job there. And I wish them well as they move forward in the NCAA tournament as well.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach, that'll do it for questions. But is there anything important to you that maybe we didn't talk about that you want to make sure that we that we do discuss while the group is here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this, and I'm hopeful some of them will show up in Indianapolis, but we have unbelievable fans, and I can't thank them enough. I was in the locker room probably about 45 minutes prior to the game, and I was hearing the Orange Power chant. It was reverberating all the way into the locker room, and I really felt like I was about to walk out in a full crowd of. That's how it felt, and it's a credit to our fans for their patience in allowing us to rebuild and reestablish the energy around this program and to be again nationally relevant. I'm so excited, first for COVID to be over health-wise, but also so that they can get back to enjoying Oklahoma State basketball the way they know it. And I can't wait to see more of them in Indianapolis and then as we move forward in Stillwater.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate you as always.
Thank you.
All right, members of the media, thank you as well.